Beautiful day at Watkins Glen International, where today we will be wrapping up our day one coverage with Pirelli GT4 America SprintX competition at this historic upstate New York circuit. Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Marine. We'll have Greg Kramer with the lap-by-lap action for you here in just a few moments. Calvin Fish will join him in the booth. And as we get ready to start our final race of the day here on Saturday, it's a fascinating front row on this grid from qualifying earlier today. We've got Vesko Kozarov starting on pole for Reardon Racing in this Audi. He was over 1 second clear of second place James Safronis, who's in that GMG Audi alongside. Interesting to note, a couple of AM-class competitors locking down that front row in qualifying. Then we go a little bit further back. This RS1 Porsche on the left has been incredibly impressive all weekend long. Jan Halen driving alongside Charlie Belluardo, who will get the start. And alongside him will be Colin Mullen, who has joined Andretti Autosport, going back a couple of rounds and become a fixture alongside Jarrett Andretti in that McLaren here this season in GT4 SprintX competition. A little further back in the Volt Lighting Porsche, that is Alan Brynjolfsson. He'll be handing over to Trent Hindman. Had a chance to speak to Mike Johnson, the team manager for that team. They think they might consider a tire change at some point during this race, during the pit stop, so keep an eye on that. It's Christian Shimshak and Matt Fosnot starting alongside. And then as we go a bit further back, Michael Dinan and Robbie Foley in the Flying Lizard Porsche. And to the right of him, as we see it, to the left as they go to the turn number one, it'll be Chris Wilson in the Autotechnic Racing BMW M4 GT4. It's a bumper grid, tons of fascinating storylines up and down. We're looking forward to a fantastic 60 minutes of action, and Greg Kramer will be the voice to call it around this fantastic circuit at Watkins Glen. Greg?
Ryan, and you are right, a big field of cars, hours worth of competition, mandatory stop and driver change, and as you alluded to, maybe a little bit of additional strategy that's going to be played out here. And lots of different classes unfolding, and there's the Pro-Ams, there's the AMs, the Eastern Regional Championship is folded into it as well, Cal. It's going to be a busy, busy hour.
It is. There's a lot on the line here as the championship is starting to wind down a little bit. I wouldn't say it's a critical day in the championship, but certainly could be a big moving day. So everyone's going to be up on the wheel here late in the day, but glorious setting still. Very, very cool conditions here for late August, and everyone's going to take advantage of the massive grip that Watkins Glen circuit provides.
And it certainly allows drivers the ability to attack when things are going well, and allows drivers, after the driver change, tires with the grip come up to temp. Not that you see a lot of tire changes in this, but it sounds like there are a couple of teams that might be trying to see if they can make that happen. That'll certainly add a little wrinkle into things here. And that's some interesting stories that are unfolding here. And, you think about it in the overall and Pro-Am points for the national championship coming in here, Cal. That number 47 pairing of Travis and Hart, sizable lead and the like, and didn't do well in qualifying at all here, way down the order.
They are. They actually didn't finish the session.
Yeah.
Travis was off to the side, didn't allow Hart to actually put his qualifying run in, so they'll start at the back tomorrow as well. They have a healthy 33-point lead in the championship, backing up 6 wins and 10 out of 10 podium runs. So I wouldn't say they're in trouble, but certainly not the day they were looking for.
Yeah, uncomfortable, I think, certainly could apply here. It's not how they wanted things to unfold, but we have seen them put in some sparkling performances. Be interesting to see what they can do working their way up through the rest of the field here. And it looks like we are getting just about ready to get this one started. He talked about Andretti Autosport moving up, and remember they started this season as an AM team. And now it becomes a Pro-Am team with Andretti being moved up as the field now makes its way out onto the racetrack. And we've been informed there will be 2 pace laps. One will be the counted pace lap. The second one, they will actually start the clock, but the team's requested 1 more lap on this coolish day to be able to make sure that the tires are up to temp and pressure. And the clock will start, so after the first of the 2 pace and parade laps.
Yeah, and getting back to that Hart and Travers situation, they have a 33-point lead, but it's not over. I mean, Lafarge and Quinlan have a big run going. They've won 3 of the last 5 races, and they could take advantage of this situation here today and put some pressure on.
They could. And one of the things that everybody's going to have to deal with here is a track that, by all measure, is pretty enjoyable to drive around. It certainly is quick, and as you've talked about, Cal, especially since a recent repaving, it is grippy.
Yeah, it's just under 3.4 miles in length. It's got 11 turns, lots of elevation change, massive grip, and a real classic circuit. I mean, it's remained its old heritage. We've got the inner loop that has changed from the original configuration, of course, but other than that, retains much of its tradition. And just one that the drivers really enjoy. I mean, there's so many fun corners, some real technical areas. You have to be hitting your marks, but the nice thing is with these Pirelli P0s, the grip level's going to be there, and they're going to be on the attack, you'd have to feel here. But what a lap that Vesco put together this morning. He was just on it, just a monster qualifying session for the Ridden Racing team, coming off the back of some testing where they've really found the sweet spot in the Audi.
Yeah, incredibly quick, and Vesco able to extract things out of it. You know, as big a lead, and I use the term loosely, as the NOLA Sport boys have over Cameron Racing, you talk about, that's by no means over. That's in the Pro-Am category. In the National Am category, the point lead between first and second, Keegan and Calvert and Allen and Wilson, a bit tighter than that.
Yeah, it's just 16 points, and it's really a 2-horse race there as well. No one else is really within striking distance, but they didn't have the best of qualifying sessions this morning, Allen and Wilson, so we'll have to see what they can come up with here today.
And then you go to the Eastern Regional, if you're just looking at how that's unfolding. The lead battle in the Pro-Am category there, Carl Whitmer has it by 2 points over McAleer and Raphael, with Brynjolfsson and Hinman not that far adrift. Girassi and Goulart not that far adrift. So lots to play for there.
Yeah, and it's a great story with Carl Whitmer now being joined with Frank Gannett. Marco Radicic didn't make the trip to Canada, and that left Carl, his teammate in the early rounds, looking for a ride with the championship lead. Teamed up with Frank, came out with a podium run, and they've got themselves together here to finish out the season potentially. So big day for Carl. He put together a really big lap in qualifying for tomorrow to sit on the overall pole. So the pace is there, and if Frank can just do a really nice solid job here, which he's showing signs of doing on a regular basis now, he's really seeming to find his confidence factor now as the season has progressed. This could be a big day for them.
It's a great field, no question of that, with all of these different categories in the mix. There's the Panos that is leading in the AM category on the National Tour. And the field coming around. Now this is where the second pace lap will begin, but the clock will officially start as it shows right there. And everybody just making sure the tires are clean, has lots of heat in them, and the pressures are where they want them to be before we go racing.
I think this entry in the number 37 car, the RS1 Porsche with Belliardo and then Jan Halen going to be taking over the wheel. Jan Halen, a lot of experience, did some IndyCar races back a while ago, a lot of sports car experience, big driver coach, and I think he's really going to be a factor here for the win here this afternoon. If Chris can get a nice solid run going through the first half, certainly shows the signs of being able to do that by qualifying third.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, we knew Halen was quick, but yeah, Charlie Belliardo, everybody was like, I'm not real familiar with him, but he's got speed.
Yes.
There's no question of that.
Does.
It'll be fun to watch. And then the Brynjolfsson, Hinman, and Fasnat Shimshak, I mean, these are guys that have been awfully quick all season long. Safronis doing a very nice job, as you would expect for a driver coming off of, in 2018, a 3 GT4 championship season.
What a season.
Yeah, it's just stellar.
Few marbles offline you see starting to develop by the end of a very busy, action-packed race day. Lots of qualifying sessions started early in the day, and around lunchtime we started hitting the races, and final one of the day.
Yep.
Just under an hour to go here. Mandatory pit stop window happens between minutes 25 and 35. Essentially can't come in before that time, and you have to be on pit lane. Not complete the service, but have a car on pit lane 35 minutes into the 60-minute event.
One of the interesting stories here, you see this all-white McLaren coming at us. If you're an Eastern Regional fan, you've been watching the Crookspeed team and their little Ginetta, especially at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Elevin Goulart, that clinic he put on there, they just didn't feel that Ginetta, it was two things. They didn't feel that it was really suited to the last couple of tracks here, this one and Road America. Vegas is going to be what Vegas is, but they weren't sure about that. And Elevin was able to get his hands around it, but the problem for Anthony Girazzi was it's a car that's very edgy to really get quick, and he had tested a McLaren and said, boy, this thing, it just suits me so much better. And the team said, well, let's give that a go for you then. And so they're running a McLaren now this weekend. See how that plays out, but we are about to get the green flag start of this race. A lap into it, essentially, and about ready to get after it here at Watkins Glen for the final race of what has been an incredibly busy Saturday here. And looking forward to this one going green. Out of that last turn, everybody winding up. Oh, very, very close. Fronis right there. Nice job by Kozarov bringing him up here. Here he goes. Fronis time get well, but it's Andretti. All right. Colin Mullen that got a potentially great run here, and it looks like he's going to sweep around the outside, pick up third.
Brynjolfsson there in the bright yellow Volt Racing Porsche, look for a way through. Tight action there as they head up through the S's. Fastnart gets to the inside of Brynjolfsson, full position. He's up into the top 5.
Fronis racy early here, but so is Mullen. Looked inside, then went to the outside, but covered that well. And Fastnart up onto the back of Belluardo. And number 37 from RS1.
Charlie just trying to settle in here. Chris Wilson having a good opening lap. Very much in the thick of the championship. He needs to make some moves. Looks down to the inside. Can he make it stick? He's inside of Brynjolfsson. They'll be side by side as they head towards the toe. Just about clears him. Oh, and Brynjolfsson gets into the back of him, just loosens him up. That allows everyone to get a run on this group. Nice save by Chris Wilson there.
Yeah, it was. Watching that epic BMW right in the mix, too. Oh, look at this.
Nowhere to go, just take the grass, no problem.
Whatever we have to do.
Everyone's settling in. Kozarov has taken off, demonstrating the pace that he showed in qualifying as well.
Fastnart now trying to work over Belluardo for that position. Wilson and Randy Mueller in the epic car. The rest of the field flowing through.
Fastnart's putting the pressure on Charlie and not allowing him to really get into his rhythm and hit his lines right now. Just needs to try and get a little bit of a cushion and start to get back into a rhythm.
Quinlan showing the nose onto Girazzi in the white McLaren as they headed down into turn 1. Girazzi covered that, shut the door smartly.
It's Chris Wilson.
Such good speed.
Euler's getting a run on him. Chris Wilson flies to the outside of the AMG Mercedes, looking for position. Meanwhile, up front is Kozarov, followed by Safronas, then Mullen.
Oh, touch there between Wilson and Fastnart.
Wow, that was
big
tight.
Saves by both of them, and then Fastnart. Yeah, he was trying to recover. It's not really his fault. He was trying to recover and tap Mueller, but that messed up Mueller's momentum. Brynjolfsson's through, as is Ben Anderson in the Dexter Racing Ginetta.
Nice save by Fastnart. I think he did the right thing in kind of bailing out of it, not trying to bully his way through that moment. Keeps it together and settles back in. Michael Dinan looking for a position there in the Flying Lizard Porsche Cayman.
Brynjolfsson under attack by Ben Anderson right now, the Ginetta on that bright yellow Porsche. And a recovering Randy Mueller in the epic BMW behind them. Then you got Ari Balog. Nice to have him in the championship once again.
He's having a nice weekend.
He has.
He's doing a really good job.
Yep.
Oh, contact.
Dynan. And that has caught out Girazzi into the barriers. He goes. That's all at the exit of turn number 9.
That's a shame.
It is. Well, Girazzi's trying to continue. It's pretty significant damage.
Yeah, lots of fluid there.
Trying to get it down into pit lane, yeah. Now we can't see. Just trying to get it clear of the track. I don't know that we'll stay green with if there's significant fluid down in that part of the track, but heck of an effort by Girazzi to get out and get into pit lane.
Yeah, fluid and debris there. Exiting turn 9.
There's Dynan.
Yeah, I think maybe he went off by himself, but maybe he was just distracted by Diamond's little moment and missed his own marks there.
Watch it again here. Here's Dynan. I think it was distraction. There was no contact with Dynan.
No, they weren't close.
Yep. Then I think he was looking at what Dynan was doing, and that's a shame. First time out for Krug Speed with this car.
Tough with these double headers. Last race of the day. A lot of work for this crew tonight. Order the pizzas.
And the full course yellow has indeed come out.
See the other side of this Porsche. See how much damage is on Dynan's car. Might got away with it. He kind of slapped those tires, but might be okay.
He hit it pretty flat too.
Yeah.
It's, he may have lucked out on that one.
The nice thing is they kind of got that strapping on there, so you can kind of glance off rather than getting into the tires and peeling back bodywork.
So at the time of this caution, the overall leader is Vesko Kozarov with Safrona's second 2 AM cars. Pro-Am number 36 McLaren of Mullen sits third. The Pro-Am Porsche of Belluardo sits in the 4th spot. Chris Wilson, an AM car, sits in the 5th spot. And then Fosnot sits 6th in an AM car. And Fosnot would essentially be the leader in the Eastern AM category, if you will. And Eastern Pro-Am would be Brynjolfsson. And while we're under caution opportunity, second in the Eastern Pro-Am category right now is Patrick Byrne, and they're running the second NOLA Sport Porsche, the number 46, the Torxen car, but that is not how things were planned for them. So we go back, take another look at this incident.
Michael there just takes in a monster amount of speed, gets it wrong, and I think it just distracts Anthony a little bit. He runs wide as he's probably looking up ahead and watching what Michael's going to do, worried that he's going to come back across his bow, and he just drops wheels at the same time. So there's Michael, and there's Anthony.
We'll tell you more about the Patrick Byrne story in just a minute. Let's get back down to Ryan.
Yeah, that's a really good story, as is this one. Carl Whitmer with Ian Lacey Racing, as we saw you in the last SprintX East round, but that's not how this season started. Can you take us through the roller coaster that I'm sure the last couple of months have been for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty emotional, but I've had support from BMW Motorsports as well as Ford Performance, so the transition was effortless. And Ian Lacey, G3 Racing, gave me an opportunity to finish the season, so I'm happy, they're happy, and we're going to keep pushing for points.
So that's big for you because going back to Canada and now entering here as well, you're leading the East Pro-Am Championship, and it's very, very close. So you're watching Frank as he's in the car right now, and every little pass he's making on track, that helps you in that championship bid.
Absolutely helps, but it's always about the big picture. So minimal risk, maximize points, and things will play out in our favor. Don't push too hard, and we're going to get good results.
You're going to have to be busy to pick up some spots in today's race, but it's a different scenario tomorrow because you qualified this car on pole for race 2.
I did, yeah. The car was hooked up this morning. The Ford Performance guys gave me a perfect car, Ian Lacey, G3 Racing again, and I just put my head down. I got the call from the engineer to go green, and I went for it and played out in my favor.
Hey, great to have all this come together for you. We're really happy for you. Best of luck today and the rest of the season.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he was just beside himself when he was up in Canada and realized he wasn't going to have an opportunity and the like. And for Frank Gannett and G3 Racing to step up and go, hey, let's put you in. We'll enter my car and we'll enter it as a SprintX and let's see what happens and put together a heck of a run there.
Well, for these young drivers, it takes such an effort to establish their career, get into a program, get a championship lead, then to see it suddenly potentially disappear overnight. I mean, you're just like scrambling.
Yeah.
And he found a great asset in Frank Gannett, who's willing to help out a fellow competitor, and has turned into a good relationship. I mean, Frank has the ability to run that car in the SprintX rounds as well. So hats off to Frank in providing a great platform for a really nice young man in Carl Whitmer. Absolutely.
And hats off to Marko Radisek, who he couldn't, last minute development, neither he or the team could make it up into Canada. And when Carl came up with his opportunity, absolutely, Marko said, you do it. You need to get those points, and you do what you need to do to finish out the season. I'm behind you. And it was an absolutely great effort. And as Carl said, good support from both the manufacturers that he'd been involved with, everybody understanding that dynamic, and I think that's just really cool. It's nice to see something like that unfold. Getting back to the story about Patrick Byrne and Guy Cosmo, he said they were here running the 46 NOLA Sport car. That's not how this was supposed to be unfolding here. Just a few days ago, they were running a Rennsport entry, but a problem on the road here for the team.
Yeah, Transporter went off the road. We saw some scary pictures on in an email and certainly on social media here during the last 24 hours. Fortunately, their truck driver, escaped serious injury. Just really scary images where a tree went through the cab essentially, but I don't think none of the equipment was too badly hurt, but certainly the tractor unit was a write-off. So they'll regroup, but the main thing is no one was hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And fortunately, they were able to call and ask the NOLA Sport guys. They said, is that 46 car available? And they went, yeah. And they said, is it at the track? And they went, yeah. And they said, we need to talk. And they were able to put the program together at the last moment. So good for Patrick and for Guy. Let's get back down to Ryan.
Anthony Girassi out of the Krug-Speed McLaren far too early, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What happened?
We had a great start. I mean, the car finally was coming together this weekend, and we struggled with the car, and the team was working really hard, and we had a great start. We got into a good pace, and coming through turn 9, Porsche in front of me just went sideways, kicked up a bunch of dirt, went into the wall, and I just had nowhere to go at that point. I just slid around, and I didn't see the replay, but that's how it felt. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep it under control, and we hit the wall ourselves.
You made the switch from the Ginetta to the McLaren starting this weekend. I'm sure there's some teething issues anytime you make a switch of machinery like that, but you said it was coming along prior to the accident.
It was coming together, and we unfortunately, started again with an accident on the first launch of our new car. But yeah, McLaren's been fantastic through this whole process. I'm sure they'll hold our hand through the process of getting it repaired, and we're looking forward to the next one at Road America.
Was that part of the decision to make the switch, knowing that McLaren would be available to help out in some capacity in situations like this and in better ones too?
Absolutely. McLaren's been fantastic from the day I called them till today. I mean, the whole team's been here supporting us, getting sorted out. So I'm hopeful that they will come through for us.
Lastly, have you had a chance to assess the damage? Is this something that can be repaired before tomorrow?
Unfortunately not. We're done for the weekend. So just thanks Pirelli World Challenge SRO, and hope to see you all in Road America.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you.
I can hear the emotion in his voice. This was a tough one, especially since he felt that they had a really good start and the car felt good. That just doubly tears at you a little bit here, but they'll be back. They're a fighting team, that's for sure.
Yeah, really neat little team. I really like Anthony Girassi. He's a nice guy,
Yep.
and tough to see him debut this new race car and see it finish this way, but they'll bounce back and Road America in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll see them back in action.
Yeah, absolutely. As we take a look here at another of the cool stories here, RS1 Motorsport. Very accomplished team, raced Porsches and other championships, and decided they wanted to try something here. Did a little bit of a study, opted to go with the older of the Porsche Cayman GT4 platforms. Felt it would be a good car to fight with here. And they have been right. Charlie Belliardo has been a bit of a revelation here with the speed that he's shown. And certainly everybody knew Jan Halen would be quick, and together they've been impressive.
Probably a revelation to him was me calling him Chris at the beginning of this race as well. It's been a long day.
It has been. It has been. Lots of racing, lots of drivers have unfolded here. But right now they sit 4th overall, 2nd in their category. So pretty good day. Obviously very early in it here. But looks like that area's been fairly much cleaned up. So hopefully we'll be able to get back to some green flag racing here in fairly short order. Watching the lights on that safety car. Let's see if they go out here, if we're going to have one more lap. Field looking a little bit more intense here. That car right behind the blue Epic entry, that is the Ari Balog machine that he's running here this weekend from Steve Cameron Racing. And I've been struggling to figure out how to describe it in terms of color, so I just thought I'd just reference it off another car. It's half white, red, black, I guess. It's a great graphics package, just a little bit undescribable. He's running with Tom Dyer.
Great to see Tom back in World Challenge competition.
Sure is.
He's a real star.
Drove GT3 Acuras for real time a couple of years ago, and early in his career, he was coming up through the ranks as an open-wheel driver.
That's right. Formula Ford 2000. I remember doing some coaching back then. Just one of those guys. He's still racing, so
yes,
he hasn't slipped through the net, but he should have been gobbled up and given more opportunity.
Yep, without doubt. All right, looks like one more lap under caution here. And I wonder if this is going to, you know, we heard that bright yellow car, the Park Place team, they were considering maybe having to do a tire change, et cetera. I wonder if this long caution maybe will mitigate that. Just
yes, should do. Pretty close to the pit window opening.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, while we're get this next lap of caution, it gives an opportunity for us to get back down to Ryan with the Murillo Racing program.
Yes, and Christian Shimshak is waiting patiently for his turn behind the wheel. You're reunited with Matt Fosnot here this weekend. It's been a little while since the two of you have been together.
Yeah, it's been a couple races in between there. I ran with Kenny in the Western Series, did those couple, but that was like months. Months had passed since me and Matt did it Motorsports. So yeah, happy to be back with him.
Whether in the East or the West, this car seems to be fast, and one of the common denominators is you behind the wheel. How gratifying has this program been, the way that it's come together here in 2019?
It's excellent. Yeah, super happy. The car, it took a while for us to get it together. Last year, we were kind of just trying to find our feet and just kept falling on our face. But I think we seem to have figured a couple of things out and kind of everybody gels together a little bit better, and so we're doing better. So yeah, we're happy.
Unlike the GT3 race, during the pit stops here in Pirelli GT4 America, most teams at least elect not to change tires. With this yellow, that means you're probably going to have a little bit more tire left for you than you would have had otherwise. Are you excited about what that could mean?
Oh yeah, having more tire is better than having less tire for sure. So yeah, that is an issue with these hour-long races, right? You have to kind of, at certain tracks, you really got to take care of the tires. I think this one may be a little bit easier on tires than some other tracks, but still, it's definitely a factor. So yeah.
Good luck in your stint.
Thanks, I appreciate it. See ya. Take care.
And part of what he's alluding to here is the fact that, you know, it's not just a matter of just taking care of tires for the race duration, but you can't go out as the first driver and just burn the tires off the car and then hand it to your co-driver and go, yeah, good luck. You know, I mean, this is definitely a compromise because you've got to give your co-driver an opportunity.
Yeah, very different dynamic to the GT3 race earlier in the day where they actually do a 4-tire change and you have your own set essentially. So yeah, it's all about working with your partner, compromising in setup so you can both drive it quickly. And certainly it's all about the finish. That's what pays the points. Doesn't matter if you're leading right now and you give the driver a burning heap to get it to the finish.
All right, safety vehicle has opened up the gap. We'll be heading into pit lane. We're going back to green flag racing here with about 38 minutes left on the clock and 3 minutes to the pit window opening as Kozarov in the rear Audi out of the final turn, onto the front straight. We are back to green, Safronis in tow.
Yeah, this is probably not what Kozarov wanted to see. Essentially, the most time he's got now is 13 minutes on the board here to try and establish a gap before the pit stop has to happen. We may see some of these teams electing to pit in about 3 minutes as soon as that pit stop window opens and get their potentially faster co-driver in. A little bit of a strategy with Kozarov, even though Jeff Burton's been doing a tremendous job here this weekend with his pace and in the season in general, but certainly for Safronis. Electing to start. They were hoping to gap the pack a little bit and create that margin. No time to do it now.
Well, Kozarov, the one thing that Kozarov will be a little bit relaxed about is the speed we've seen from Jeff Burton this weekend. When he turns it over to him, he doesn't necessarily have to have the lead he maybe thought originally, because Burton has been fast here.
Certainly the Andretti Autosport car with Mullen, young Colin Mullen behind the wheel, running in third. Jared Andretti's shown tremendous pace here this weekend. So they could be in great shape here, potentially grabbing a victory as well. Lots of potential plays here. Brynjolfsson in the mix. Trent Hinman going to jump behind the wheel of that one.
Keeping an eye here on where the number 47 is, this caution. It happened fairly early into the race, so it really didn't benefit them a whole lot. They didn't get a chance to move up to the pack too much. Travis hasn't.
Down in the 18th position, 8th in class, haven't finished off the podium all season long, so a lot of work to do as they run through that oil dry. And that's tough, I tell you, from a confidence factor, when you're a driver who does not have a lot of experience, you want a nice racing surface. You see all that dust, it kind of spooks you a little bit in terms of what sort of grip level you're going to have when you go into that next corner.
Well, and especially when the corner's as fast as turn 10 is. You're thinking you got a little bit of that stuff on your tires, what's going to happen here? Changes up the dynamic a little bit. There's a look at Brynjolfsson, sitting 7th overall. Leading in the Eastern Pro-Am category. He'll be turning over to Trent Hinman, who has, we're well aware, very stout pace.
Yeah, they swept the weekend to start the year at Circuit of the Americas, so they've certainly got potential to grab a win. Chris Wilson putting the pressure on here.
It's just more and more impressive what we're seeing, I think, for Charlie Belliardo. Because you got a guy like Chris Wilson and his speed and experience, and you're fending him off. And behind him is Matt Fosnot, who is awfully quick as well.
You know the car will be good. RS1 are one of the best in terms of prepping one of those Porsches, so you'd have to feel that Charlie has a really good car underneath him, but nonetheless to come out and put in this sort of qualifying performance, an early race run is good.
Out of the toe of the boot, once again, climbing the hill.
Get window open.
This will be interesting to see. Who opts to do what at this stage of things. Randy Mueller, after getting involved and bumped back just a little bit, has moved his way now up into 8th overall. 2nd in the Eastern AM category.
Who's going to blink first? You'd have to think that Kozarov, Safronis will stay out there. Mullen, do they take the gamble and pit early and get Jared Andretti in the car? Looks like he's slowing. Mullen to pit lane. Charlie comes to pit lane. I like these moves. I like this strategy.
And I've just been kind of laughing at the ruthlessness of Vesko Kozarov. He comes out of turn number 9, goes right through the meat of all that stuff to throw that junk up in the air, dissuade everybody behind him. You use every arrow in the quiver, don't you?
It's the Endurance Window World entry. Jared Andretti will be ready. 75 seconds is the minimum time on pit lane. Pit in to pit out. No tire change is going to happen, and no refueling necessary, just a driver change to monitor and manage.
All right, Ryan Marine right down amongst them.
So I did check with Mike Johnson real quick with the Volt team, and they are not going to be making the tire change that they had planned initially. They were concerned about tire wear, but the extended yellow absolves them of some of those concerns. Jared Andretti, you mentioned getting inside that Window World McLaren for Andretti Autosport. He was the pole sitter in sprint competition early today. He's been released, headed back out. That race ended a bit too early for them with tire problems. Hopefully nothing of the sort here in the SprintX race. And Trent Hidman getting into Volt Porsche. Watch for him. He should be on a move. There's no doubt about it. He is awfully quick.
Nice one from Andretti Autosport. 75.8. That is nice execution.
Be interesting to see here. It looked like the Brynjolfsson-Hinman switch not quite as good. 78.8. So they lost a little time. Yeah, Andretti doing a nice job. Meanwhile, Safronis staying out.
And I think you'll see both Vesco and Safronis try and maximize. Get right down to about 26, 27 minutes to go before they hit pit lane.
And Wilson will stay out. Fosnot certainly.
Fosnot's in, I believe. They've just ducked in, Greg.
Okay, yep. Yeah, here he comes. So Shimshak will be climbing on board. Ari Belog, and as well, he'll be turning over to Tom Dyer. Justin Raphael will be turning over to McAleer. We haven't really talked enough, I think, about Raphael and McAleer. They are really strongly placed in that Eastern Pro-Am Championship, just 2 points behind Whitmer. So McAleer will be going after it. Gannett has pitted and turned over to Whitmer. Not a great stop, however.
That's a shame. So I thought they could really make some hay there by getting in early. Shimshak behind the wheel.
And, keeping a close eye here now on the Raphael to McAleer exchange.
You can do a tire pressure adjustment during the stop. So Fromis is keeping the pressure on. He certainly narrowed that margin that Kozlov displayed in qualifying. As we see Jared Andretti getting back up to speed. And that good pit stop is putting him in great shape. Look at this. They're going to come out ahead of the Murillo Racing Mercedes AMG.
Yep.
Even though they had a pretty clean one, 76.3 against 75 seconds is the minimum.
And Halen now on board the RS1 car right behind Fosnot. Or excuse me, behind Shimshak now. And Shimshak, he knew this guy's going to be quick here. Plus he's been out a lap, so you don't lose a ton of heat while you're sitting in pit lane and pressure in those tires, but a bit.
That was close.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I mean, Jan Halen set that up nicely, but Shimshak said, no, it's not going to come that easy. Welcome to GT4 SprintX action.
Andretti, right on the limit as he works through. You can see Hinman in the background.
Just got to wait and see how all of this cycles through when the leaders pit.
Yep. It's Kozarov, Safronis, Wilson, and Randy Mueller have all stayed out as of yet. Wilson will be turning over to John Allen. Mueller will be turning over to James Clay. So, in a way, this little scrap that's going on right here is going to be potentially for the lead of the race, isn't it?
It could be.
Yep.
I think it's going to be close. I mean, I think if Reardon Racing can execute a good clean stop, we could end up with Jeff Burton in the lead potentially.
That's true. That is true.
And then he's just got to hang on, but he's shown great pace here, and he's shown the discipline to be able to lead these races. But he's going to have a very fierce pack right around him. And Halen looks to the inside, deep on the brakes, not quite there. Nice drive by Shimshak just to open up the door enough so there wasn't contact, but not giving it to him.
And Shimshak knows he's going to be punching in a pretty big hole here. I wonder if he just stays all the way to the right again.
Jan Halen was determined to take that position and outbrake him, but he just was just that tick too far back. When you're running someone who's really quick like Shimshak, you still can't make it happen, even if you're giving it 100%.
It's the second time I've seen Andretti dropping tires into the dirt. The steward said, we'll give you every bit of racetrack and curb we can, but you drop tires into the dirt, that's going to get some looks, so he's got to be a little careful.
Deep.
Yeah.
Little error there, little bobble.
And look at Hinman coming.
Yeah, I think that's going to force Jan Halen's hand here a little bit. Hinman gets closer. He may start to get a little bit feisty and aggressive.
Hinman's last lap, a 55.9 compared to 57s for everybody around him. So he's moving.
To think that the leaders will be pitting this lap, I would think. I don't think they can afford to stretch it any further. So expect Kozrov in at the end of this lap. Kozrov right now has the fastest lap of the race at 55.7. Hammer time. The last lap was 8/10 clear of James Safronis. That is going to be crucial. I tell you what, if Red Racing can execute a good clean stop, Greg, as you see Shimshak getting a run on Andretti. Andretti has no problem running around the cushion.
No, not at all. Boy, this is going to be interesting here because, all right, here's Safronis. That pit window's closing. Yep, they really got to come here.
They have to, yeah.
Yep.
Not enough time on the board to do another one.
So this is going to be the key stop here. These two.
Yeah, I think if they can be even close within a couple of seconds at the minimum, that should give Jeff the lead.
Yep.
Because Kozrov is flying. He was running faster laps than the Andretti, Shimshak, and Halen group. So I'd say anything under 80 seconds.
Should be good.
Should be good.
All right, Ryan, they're at you.
All eyes on this Reardon Racing crew as Jeff Burton hustles around the car. He's going to get belted in here in just a moment. These two, Vesko Kozarov and Jeff Burton, they've really formed a dynamic duo and a close personal bond as well. Beyond just driver and co-driver or driver and driver coach, they seem to really get along, and that has manifested itself in their driving. Right now, Vesko working on getting the belts tightened up, the crew coming around. They're checking tire pressures to make sure everything is good. Did not notice any major tire pressure adjustments. That's no surprise. This car has led from the top drop of the green. Vesko comes around, hops over the wall, and it's a good sign that they're telling him to wait, and now sending him out. Nope, a little bit of a delay. Now he's gone. Let's see. What do you guys think?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting here. It's long.
79, I think he's okay.
Yep.
So there's a little bit of miscommunication here. Look at this down the front stretch.
Boy, Halen really aggressive in his defense.
Yeah, so Burton has maintained the track position as I thought anything under 80, and they were just under 80. 75 is the minimum. They were at 79.2. They had a bit of time to work with Vesko's good work there at the start of this race and ran down really fast laps.
Yeah.
There's the gap.
Well, and we have seen Burton survive this. He did it at Sonoma.
Well, he's been quick here this weekend.
Well,
He's
yeah.
just got to settle in. See Andretti still kicking up the dirt a little bit.
Stewards are going to be looking at that.
Yeah.
They were adamant. They thought they were being plenty generous.
Ryan Till, the driver steward, does not like that. As well as the race director here this weekend. Look at Shimshak. That is a bold move.
Yes, it is. Trying the outside through the laces.
He's working it. This racetrack has got grip to work with.
Well, I think he realizes that he needs, he's clearly quicker. He needs to get through, or Burton with the pace he's had can start to gap this a little bit. And here comes Hinman now trying to get the run on Halen.
This could get really scrappy here, Greg. The writing's on the wall. Look at Hinman trying to work the outside of Halen. Halen's just going to take the line away from him. There you go. certain things at a certain level you don't get away with.
Yep. Oh, this is compelling stuff here. All these drivers, you got James Clay in that epic car right there as well.
Could hear a little bit of tire squeal there from the camera. I think it's Andretti maybe struggling for balance just a little bit compared to the chasing pack. Key is going to be Burton. What sort of pace can he settle into? Shimshak has a run.
Yeah, he does.
This is getting dicey. They're almost running over each other right here.
Well, Andretti, his laps, high 57s, and the people behind him, I think, are capable of more. I'm not sure that that car is quite right, Cal.
Yeah, I think the balance may have gone away a little bit.
He's so shallow in that turn in there.
Yeah, he does that, though. That's kind of his approach. I think he just buries it in on the brakes, and lets the electronics sort it out for him.
And I was going to say, you know, we talked about everybody behind him, and Shimshak, and Halen, and Hinman, and Clay, but how about Leafouge? We've seen him put in some staggeringly good drives. And there he is in that orange and blue BMW. And he's got Warren Dexter coming along with him as well.
Look at Shimshak. He's working every angle possible, but he's opened the door up a little bit for Jan Halen. Does Andretti give him that outside line on the run up to the turn in for turn 9? Shimshak has to give it up. He's trying to slide back in. Jan Halen fills that spot. Here comes Hinman.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. Very tight corner here. Halen trying the outside, and let's see if Shimshak returns the favor. There's not a lot of runoff out there, though.
That is beautiful racing for those guys to survive this. Oh, yeah, you can't swing back out. The car's there.
Yep.
Nice job of recognizing that. That is really respectful driving. I thought for sure there was going to be contact. Hinman has a massive run on them.
Yeah, Halen knew it.
You're right. Leafouge is right there.
Oh, he's through on Clay already. Yeah, he went through on Clay.
Dexter's doing a nice job.
All that scrapping is giving Andretti some breathing room.
And meanwhile, up front, Jeff Burton is getting the job done. He was half a second quicker than any of these guys. I know they're scrapping it out, but Jeff Burton has a 7.5 second lead, and he has pace.
Yeah, all right, now Halen having cleared everybody. Let's see what he can do vis-a-vis Andretti here. He's making up a lot of ground in a hurry.
See if Hinman can work over Shimshak here. He's only got one car to deal with. They're trying to play the chess match between the pack. There's Burton. There's the gap back to Andretti. Andretti again. I don't think he has quite the pace of these chasers right there. How do they handle him? So impressive to see some of these drivers who don't have the experience level but seem comfortable running at the front end, Greg, this year.
Yep, absolutely. Look at Hinman defending on Leafouge. Leafouge has got to the shoulder.
Oh, he squeezed it in. That's nice. That's going to get the position.
Yes, it is.
We said they've won 3 of the last 5 races in class. They're going for another one here today.
What moniker did you give him at Portland? I don't remember. It was good. Oh boy, Shimshak though, he has run down Halen.
Look at Andretti, just takes that car in on the brakes.
Very confident in the ABS, isn't he?
Yeah. Look at this, Shimshak's got a big run now. Yeah, and Halen have been really impressed here just by being super disciplined in tricky race situations here, not being too forceful and taking his time. But up front, Burton continues to do a good job.
And Leafouge now to the outside of Shimshak. Didn't get quite enough alongside, though. Yeah, you're right. Burton is just impressive. margin still 6.8 seconds.
James Clay all over Hinman. Burton leads overall in an AM. Pro MS Andretti from Halen. So this is a battle not only for position overall, but also for the class lead.
Halen trying to square up underneath Andretti. Here comes Leafouge. He got a great run.
Look at this. He's making that move work.
He sure is.
There's room to work with. Times it beautifully and slides back in. Jan Halen wasn't going to give him the outside line, but he timed it nicely just to be able to tuck under the rear bumper of Jan Halen and not have contact.
Hinman trying to work the outside of Shimshak and realized, boy, if I get that wrong, I'm into that barrier, and he checked up just a little bit.
What a fun battle this is.
Isn't this awesome?
Watch that Janetta. Back of this little
Yeah, absolutely.
snarl.
Tom Dyer is putting down some pretty good laps in the number 190. Oh, Hinman trying to get it this time underneath Shimshak. Can't get it done.
Clay gets a big run, big run.
He's through.
Yeah, nice decision by Hinman and not trying to take that road away from him.
Yep. Boy, Leafouche is just flying. He's going to try and go around the outside of Halen, and he's been able to make these kind of moves work. Not this time. He was measuring there a little bit.
I think where we have the chance for some contact is if Leafouge tries to make that move on Halen out of the heel of the boot, because I don't think Jan's going to give him that outside lane. And that's kind of his cut and paste right now in terms of making the moves through this field.
There's Burton, and here's the battle. Here we go, exit of the boot. This time Halen cuts to the inside. Nicely done if he can stay put. There's a touch.
There's a rub. Watch Leafouge.
Yep,
He's going to
problems
get a run.
for
He's
both
gonna
of
clean
them.
him out.
He sure is.
Not really sure if that was necessary between the two of them.
No.
Nice run for Leafouge. Boy, he's made some moves in that section of the racetrack today. Can he now go chase down Jeff Burton? The lead is 7.7 seconds as this pack has been beating on each other.
Yeah, this is just stellar. And look at Dyer. He is flying right now. He has run down that group in front. He just turned a 56.9.
Yeah, he had an earlier lap at 56.4. Let's take another look at this. So Jan Halen had the inside line, then they get awfully close down here. Andretti sees him, he looks across at him, gets in the brake zone, and Jan Halen just moves a little bit over as he got on the brakes. He just jinked to the left a little bit. That caused the contact. They both lose momentum, and Leafouge just times it beautifully to pass them both.
I wonder if that little jink left, did that happen when he went to the brake?
Possibly.
Like a brake pull of some sort? Or because that inside line isn't necessarily the grippiest.
Yeah, he just jumped on the brakes and it all kind of happened simultaneously. I think this lap is going to be key.
Yep.
Clear lap for Leafouge. What does he have in comparison to Jeff Burton? With the passes and the maneuvering on the last lap, there was only a tenth of a second between them, so Burton looks comfortable. Reardon Racing look to be in great shape here.
Boy, look at this. As Clay and Hinman were both working over Andretti. Clay getting the better of Hinman there, but neither of them getting by Andretti.
Look at Dyer, he's got around Dexter.
Yeah.
Tell you what, the Cameron Racing BMWs are really potent here this weekend. Displayed by Leafouge and now Tom Dyer as well.
The Cameron Racing team, they just, Andretti running way wide at the exit of 9. Boy, Hinman was thinking about straight lining the apex there. I think he's getting a little frustrated.
Those radiator grills look packed with all of that.
Yeah, they truly do.
Oil drying stuff that they've been ingesting. Watch Clay's going to set up for a big run. Hinman tries to go with him. Big run on Andretti.
Nice job by
yeah,
Clay.
That was nice. You could see that one coming. The writing was on the wall.
Yep. Now Hinman's got a draft, but Dyer gets a massive toe. Looks to the inside.
Hinman's too late, I think. I don't think he closed the door. Dyer's going to go for it.
He sure is.
Backs out of it. So this doesn't look pretty. That's smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think he had a legitimate option, but probably was the right move to back out of it at that point. Ooh, deep by Dexter, nearly loses that Ginetta.
Clay, Hinman maybe got him offline a little bit.
Yeah, that was the deep dive. But he just gets the power down really nicely coming off the toe.
This is compelling stuff, and I think part of that was Hinman. He had to tighten that whole radius up through there.
Yeah, to make the move, to tuck it to the inside, just lost a little bit of apex speed. Jared Andretti's just such a good little racer. Not intimidated. But there's some really quick cars here in this pack today. Look at that. How tight do you like it?
Wow. Piece of paper, maybe. 20 bond, not 28. Who just pitted? Was that Clay?
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, no. There. Meanwhile, Hinman finally getting the run.
Dyer eyeing the situation.
Dyer setting up for a run, and so did Dexter.
Almost was a touch there between Andretti and Hinman down into the brake zone for turn one. It's just that Andretti runs that kind of shallower angle, so he was like turning in where he normally does.
Oh boy, you see the message there. Clay getting a drive-through for a pit speed violation.
That's a shame.
That sure is. And that margin now, Burton and Leafauge down to 5 seconds, but we're at 10.5 minutes.
Yeah, no, Jeff's doing the job.
Yes, he is.
He's doing exactly what he needs to do.
Oh, a problem for Halen?
Halen is slowing.
I wonder if that little side-to-side contact, if he may have cut a tire or something along those lines.
It's disappointing after such a promising run. Pulls over to the side of the road. 10 minutes on the board. Will they stay green? I think it's a pretty safe spot on the inside there, exiting the toe. Dyer, Andretti. Andretti gives him nothing.
Nope. And Dexter thought about that move to the inside, but we've already seen today, if you do that and it doesn't work, you're just a sitting duck coming out of 9. And he recognized it. So that should promote Shimshak into 3rd overall. Andretti will be back to 4th overall. Excuse me, Hinman will be 4th overall, then Andretti.
Burton's gap at the front now down to 4.3. Lost 8/10 on that lap.
Oh, look at this.
Touch. Yeah. It's just a bad dynamic because, I mean, they're both doing, I think it's just a racing incident, but Jarrett likes to run that slightly shallower turn-in point, and it just doesn't mix well when you get someone trying to plow it down the inside.
Trying to get it turned around. Keep an eye on traffic that's coming so that he can get back in.
Take another look at it. Oh, I was a bit late on Tom there. No, I'll take another look at it. You know, because Jarrett's strong down into that brake zone, so I think it was just too late for the performance of the guy you're trying to get around.
Yeah, I would agree. So now Dyer has to work his way back up, assuming the car doesn't have anything significant wrong. There's a little damage there in that left front corner.
Right.
Some body work. So Dexter's in front of him, then Foley has come up smartly.
Foley's had a nice strong run. He's really running some fast laps there in the 56 range a little bit ago. Can Burton hang on here?
And Jason Hart, by the way, he's not going to be on that podium, but he's worked his way up into the top 10 from way back, 18th when he got in the car, I think. All right, 7.5 to go. What's the margin up front? 3.2.
Yeah, that was a second on that lap. Yeah. So it's going to get tight. It's going to get dicey. This fingernail biting time for Reardon Racing. This is where Vasco needs to be on the horn and just talking Jeff through this scenario.
There he is.
There's Leofage catching him.
And Shimshak, that's your top three.
Just keep pushing.
Yep. Just hit your marks. Don't make any mistake.
The other thing is, in terms of their class, they're numerous positions ahead of second in the AM division, which is Keegan.
Yeah, very
way
good
down
point.
in the
Way
12th
down.
position. So what's the focus?
Yeah.
You'd hate to give up an overall win, as Andretti unfortunately has to hit pit lane in the Endurance Window World Machine.
Boy, he had fought and fought and fought, hadn't he?
Robin Pemberton and the crew having a quick look around, see if they can see anything. Jared obviously saying something feels amiss. Here's our leader. Not far behind is Leofage. Is going to be less than 3.2, I think, at the stripe this time.
Yeah, it is. CJ Moses has taken over for Sofronis in that Audi there. And Leofage
clears him. May have lost a tenth or two, but not a lot.
And here comes Shimshak. 5.5 to go.
2.7, so he took another half a second out of the lead despite the traffic. So it's going to be super tight if he maintains this pace over the leader. Leofage should be on him with a lap or two to go. BMW super strong here.
Really is. And Leofage has just been phenomenal all season long. We've seen him for a lot of years. He is just one quick driver. There's no other way to describe it.
He's got his favorite spot. He likes to make the move, right?
Outside of
the
heel. And again, Dexter doing a nice job. 5th overall in the Ginetta.
Oh, he overdrove that corner a little bit there. May have cost him a tenth or two potentially. Still looks like he's closer though.
Yep, sure does. It was 2.7 last time. We'll watch it. So leading in the Eastern Pro-Am category would be Hinman. The National Pro-Am category is Leofage.
It is getting tight. Okay, Jeff, what do you got?
Yep.
How deep can you dig here and try and get this overall win? There's the Reardon Racing team, Laura Tallman in the middle.
Vesco on the left. So 2 laps to go. And it's 1.2 from 2.2.
That was a big one. That was a second and a half on that lap.
Yeah.
Lafarge can smell it. He can see it. The carrot's right in front of him. He may be in the orange car, but the carrot's in front of him.
Boy, in this late day sun, sure, this place just gets even more beautiful too, doesn't it? Oh, look at this. Well, the heel.
If you're a betting man, you'd have to say that's the spot, right?
You would, indeed.
And how patient does he remain? You know, team saying a lap and a half to go, but as if it stays green, you hopefully feel you got all of the time on the clock to work with. But
Yeah,
if the opportunity is there, you may have to make it stick now.
And Shimshak continues to stay right in that window here.
He's not going away, is he?
No. All right. Heading into the heel.
I think he's
quite
close
there.
enough this time.
Oh, Foley. Left rear. That wasn't the side that grazed that wall, was it? But it still could have picked up a curb edge. All right, well, here we go. Lafarge is there.
He said a lap or two to go. He might be with him. That's going to be the case here as they cross the stripe. With one to go, should see the white flag this time, I would imagine. Nice job by Jeff Burton there. He rolled some good speed through that final corner. That's not an easy one to get right.
And white flag is out last lap. As you said, this is not an intra-class battle. This is just overall.
Lafarge has got a big run. This is perfect timing to pick up that draft and pop out just as you exit the S's. It times out beautifully. Burn to the inside. Lafarge has a big head of steam.
And he's through. I think that was a smart move by Burton.
It really was beautifully timed. It just set up perfectly for him. A little bit of luck just in terms of the timing of catching him and getting the draft up through the S's and just clearing it and being able to pop out just as you hit the straightaway without lifting. What a run by Greg Lafarge here.
He has just been spectacular all season. And
Burton's right there. He's in the dirt.
Nice job saving that.
It's still a great run. Really enjoying this race. Great performances by our current leader and Jeff there in second. Did an amazing job to hold on to the lead for as long as he did.
It really did. And he's got a margin back to Shimshak. He ought to be able to hang on here, you would think.
Yeah, just hit your marks now. Focus on the class victory. Still a brilliant day for Reardon Racing. Lafarge pushing hard there. A little bobble there on the brake zone up into turn 9.
All right, last turn. And Stephen Cameron Racing, Greg Lafarge, Sean Quinlan, and BMW getting the win at Watkins Glen with an amazing come from deep in the pack drive. Look at that. Look at Sean. Going, wow.
He's
unbelievable. Burton, after the opening stint by Kozarov, Burton hanging on for second and a class win. Phenomenal run there. Shimshak will win the Eastern Am class. He and the starting driver, of course, Matt Fosnot. So great run there. In the Eastern Pro-Am class, won by Hinman and Brynjolfsson. Panos coming across the line. That's Keegan. That's second in the Am class. And after that drive-through penalty.
That was a great race.
Yeah, it sure
was. Fantastic.
Wow. And that group behind, well, just at one point, what were there, 6, 7, 8 cars that were just scrapping it. Just phenomenal. That's what we come out to watch.
It was a good finish to a great day of racing here at the Glen.
Sure was. Busy day, long day, qualifying for all these classes, kicking things off. And then a race like that to wrap it up, that was just fitting. said, after a day of beautiful weather like we've had, look at that. It's just, I mean, it's late day sunlight just lighting this place up. Let's take a look at the provisional final results here. There you see it. Quinlan and Leafouge getting it done, then Kozarov and Burton, Fasnat Shimshak and Hinman and Brynjolfsson. And each one of them a class winner, ironically.
That's right.
So
symmetry there at the top.
Absolutely. On the graphics we're showing you, if it's a red background, that's an AM rated team. If it's a black background, in terms of the number panel, it's a Pro-Am team. There's also the Eastern Regional and National Championships in there as well. And here you see, unfortunately, the incident for Girazzi and Goulart, and the problems for Mullen and Andretti, Foley and Dynan. But everybody who struggled today, save perhaps the Krooksby team and the damage on that car, they get a chance to go after it and try, if they had a problem today, make good on that tomorrow. It's one of the things we really like about the format for the SRO America Pirelli GT4 SprintX Championship, as well as all of the categories that run an SRO America World Challenge, is it's a double header, and we get to see them do it all again tomorrow.
Quick reset. Big day tomorrow.
Absolutely, and the action tomorrow is scheduled to start at about, I'd be ready about 8:30 for the next race in the TC America Touring Car category. It was a great race today. We get to slide right on through it once again as Quinlan watches Greg Leafouge bring that Cameron Racing BMW down into the victory circle area. Yeah, Leafouge, man, what a drive.
He was just on a roll. Just the rhythm was there. The way he was picking them off, it was just timing out. It was just working.
It just clicked in.
Yeah, it was just tough to stop.
Let's get down to Ryan Marine with our winners.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to chat with Greg here in just a moment. He's still celebrating, trying to get his helmet off. But Sean Quinlan, the co-driver, quite the role that you guys are on right now.
Yeah,
Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I mean, I did not expect this today, but then we had a good start. Full course yellow helped us out, and then Greg got in the car and it was truly amazing, amazing.
What was it like watching those last few laps?
Very, very nerve-wracking. I was like pacing up and down, and yes, it was very special.
I wonder if it was as nerve-wracking inside the car. We'll ask you, Greg. Those last few laps, really, your entire stint, you were just picking your way through traffic. There was chaos all around you, and somehow you're in the right position to bring home the win.
Yes, it was a little surreal again. You know, I felt I was really good on the brakes. This was really my forte today. And the car was great, too. So the Cameron Racing guys, again, gave us an awesome car for the race, and it wouldn't happen without them.
Fantastic show. Thanks for thrilling us today, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yep, they put together one heck of a drive, and Leafouge just relentless in his pursuit and bringing it home. And let's take a look at some of the highlights. At the start, Lesko Kozarov did what we have come to know from him. He just got to the front from a great qualifying run, started to build that margin up, although James Safronis stayed fairly close.
He did hang with him for a long time. There's some great action throughout the whole field. People taking to the grass, some cutting and diving. Then a big moment in this race, Michael Dynan gets a little bit wide, and Anthony Girazzi in the McLaren on debut just gets turned and center punches the left side Armco barrier, unfortunately.
And then after the stops, an amazing battle unfolded as Jared Andretti and Jan Halen leading a queue of cars, and you can see right behind him, there's that touch. Ultimately, did a little damage, we think, to Halen's car. And then Andretti trying to deal with it. Big battle as they head down to turn one.
Touch there, Andretti in the mix all day long, had a great race. So many strong cars. This is a late move by Tom Dyer. Just gets into Jarrett, turns him around. Move was probably not on when we look at it a second time here. And then what a battle for the lead. Just had the momentum.
Burton did everything he could. He had a great race, but Leafou's just a little too fast, slips through and picks it up and brings Steve Cameron and BMW a win. Here, the team elated, and they get to do it again tomorrow.